making another demo of the Digitech GNX1 pedal with all the tones I made. I turned the cabinet simulation off this time to see how that would sound and if it would get a more natural sound, not sound so computerized with the cabinet simulation. I find that cabinet simulation does sound good, but I also find that when you turn it off, it sounds a little bit more natural, but you have to set the pedal to direct mode, otherwise it's going to sound really fried. So basically what direct mode does, it's basically the mixer setting, except you turn off the cabinet simulation and it'll sound dead. And when you set it to direct mode, you get more of mid-rangier kind of tone, but it sounds good only with the cabinet simulation off on that setting. Other settings use cabinet simulation. But this is supposed to be a Wagner Uberschall model that I made. Alrighty, now this is the 5150 model I created on here. Like I said, the GNX allows you to warp amp models together, and if you have a lot of time on your hand and feel like sitting there for about an hour or two, you can actually make some pretty cool tones. So this is a 5150. This next one is stock amp model that comes with the pedal. It's the Mesa Boogie Dual Rectifier. They call it rectified, but this is the dual rectifier. Here we go. There we go. GMP Mark II. They call it 78 master volume, but the real name of this Marshall is GMP Mark II. This B52 cab, like I said, is not bad. It's just it's not voiced the way I'd like it. It still sounds really good though. I really would like to have a Marshall 1960 cab, a T75s, but got this B52 cab, and the speakers sound kind of like vintage 30 knockoffs in my opinion. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard what vintage 30s sound like and played on a bunch of cabs at the guitar center that have vintage 30s. I'd say that these speakers are probably like a vintage 30 knockoff. They don't have the exact tone, but close. Anyways, this is my version of a Valve King. I actually owned that amp until I sold it. But I made this amp model when I had that amp. And I compared them and they were really close, so here we go. Valkyrie. This is actually a Blue Voodoo model. I was originally trying to make a crank out of it. A friend of mine who owns a Blue Voodoo played on this setting, and he's like, "No, dude, that sounds like my amp." So this is a Blue Voodoo model. There you go. stock model. That means stock model means it comes on the pedal already programmed. This is what they call modern gain or modern high gain or something. It's based on a JCM 900, and it sounds pretty close. I've played on a 900 before, and I just call it JCM 900. I don't call it a stupid modern gain thing, but here we go. I'm not really trying right now, but I'm just showing off the tunes of this pedal. That's the whole point of the video. You can criticize my playing another day. Although I'm just not warmed up. Listen to our stuff, our CDs, Conquer Flesh, and I play a lot better because I'm warmed up and I'm in the groove of things. But this is supposed to be a crank amp model. I don't know how close I actually got, but here we go. Crank amp model. This is a Powerball amp model based on the Angle Powerball. Angle is kind of a weird name for an amp, but they have some good tones. But here we go. Surprisingly, this Digitech has some pretty warm distortion sounds, and it's all solid state and digital, but it's not too bad. The only thing they lack on is their speaker cabinet simulation could be a little better. Well, I think Line 6 has got them beat in the cabinet simulation department, but it's still not bad. I mean, if everybody records on like a CD directly with Digitech and you mix it, most people can't really tell unless you're like a gear nut or something. But this last model is the 800 redone, because my previous 800 model really sucked, in my opinion. It just didn't quite have that crunch that the 800 is supposed to have and that mid-range bite. This is actually based on the Lead 800, which is a amp model on Guitar Rig 3 based on the JCM 800. I would use Guitar Rig 3 as my main preamp, but my computer sucks, so that's out of the question. So it's just a cool program I noodle around with and, you know, try to copy sounds from my pedal. But here's an 800 for you. Apparently my phone is ringing. I'll answer when the video's over. Anyways, this is GNX1 demo number 3 with all the amp models.